In 3 words, oof. In 3 words, oof. This is super difficult. It tries to be traditional. I can define this word or not? Because we are trying to be part of the tradition because we feel that tradition is a concept that is still alive. Okay, tradition comes from the Latin tradere, that means bring things forward. Then it seems it's an old concept, but it is still alive. It's not trying to copy the tradition that is there, dead, but it is still alive. Then to bring these concepts, like the patio house, it's a traditional one, it's a very old thing, but we can still work with this because it's a way of living, it's a way of a patio is a kind of a machine, etc., etc. No? Then first could be traditional. Second could be coherent. Coherent, it's quite difficult to explain what is coherent in some sense, but because the decisions normally don't come as a formula, as a mathematical formula. Our decisions come from our heart, our stomach, our brain, no? And it's a mixture of this, but tries to be coherent with the project. Sometimes we have some decisions that we want to take, but the project doesn't want. Then we try to follow the project in order to be coherent with it, no? And the third one, I don't know, but we can say that we try to have fun, we try to enjoy, we try to laugh a bit, no? To laugh a bit at us, no? Also, and to question the things we do, but in a positive way. Let's say the third could be positive. No?
Okay, nice.
Then traditional, coherent, and positive. Well, it's not bad, no? This is, well, the client or the user is a super important ingredient, okay? We used to talk in our lectures, in our studio, about how the user takes ownership of architecture and how the user is another layer on architecture. Then we have to give them some freedom in the design, in the way we design houses and the way we do these proposals, no? Because I think that when we finish our work as architects and we leave, we get paid, we are like, we pass to another layer, no? But then the owner, it's kind of taking part of the architecture, is taking ownership of it, and then architecture is starting. Without the use, architecture doesn't make sense. And I think that the client, the owner, it has to be part of the project from the zero moment, no? Because it will come. If not, it's not architecture, I think. Okay, we can understand, let's say, environment in 2 ways, no? We can do a zoom in, very zooming, our plot, our neighbors, the sun is there, no? Then we have to be very specific in this zoom in approach, no? You have to be like embraced for the environment, you have to be part of the environment finally, no? You are part of the landscape, part of this place, no? Of this specific place, then your project has to belong to that plot. It doesn't have to be, let's say, a universal answer. It's for a specific place, no? But you also can do a zoom out. Then you have to also to be part of the, I will say, cultural landscape, of the culture of that specific place. And what is culture? Talking from architecture. We can talk about a lot of things from architecture, but I think culture has been made from the local resources. We could add materials, but if we talk about gastronomy, it's local resources, not materials. Well, you understand, like meal as material could be, but it's from local resources. What does in architecture, or for us, local resources mean? Can be materials, of course. If we build in Switzerland, we talk about wood, for example, but not in Mallorca. In Mallorca, we cannot talk about wood. We have sandstone, we have bricks, we have all these other kind of materials. But resources are also the winds, where the wind is blowing from. In Mallorca, we have this strong wind called embat coming from the sea to the land. And if you place the house in perpendicular, the building, to the sea, you get this cross ventilation that cools down the temperature of the house, no? Or many of them, no? And once again, perhaps I can come back to the very first word and the first question, no? The answer is tradition again, no? That thing of the resources is the answer that always the tradition did to architecture, to gastronomy, to culture. That's why this mosaic of cultures of the world, they all look in the same way to producing something. Let's say gastronomy, let's say architecture, but it's the same way of looking to the things, to do the more with the less, to use the local things, the things you have at hand, no? What do you have and what can you do with the things you have? It's not transforming, bringing from far, like, it's just doing what do you have around you. Then, once again, is to pay attention to your surroundings, to your environment, to your landscape. No? Sure. In fact, when well, it's because of the Spanish crisis, etc., that we start to do competitions abroad, but also always in Switzerland. Why always in Switzerland? To understand how that country was working. We lost some competition before winning one, because we didn't know anything about that country. Then we start to learn about that until the point where we did the project. No? We used to say that we are where we are. Then, depending on the place where we are. We don't have to be like architects. As architects, we have to disappear. You don't have to say, oh, this is, I don't know, I will say Atera. Well, it's not this or that, it's the building. The building has to belong to that place. It's the building, not the architect. You have to read the environment and then to give the answer that's logical, let's say, to that environment, or coherent, again, coherent with that environment.
Thank you.
Okay. No, thanks to you. It has been a pleasure. Yeah. Thank you.